Good morning, kids. Today we're going to continue talking about those days between Jesus coming back to life when he walked around on the earth and between him going back to heaven. Because sometimes we forget it was really a 40-day long period of time. And if we're counting from Easter our time now, that's been about 3 weeks that he's been walking on the earth. And we're going to look at a group of people that he appeared to 3 different times. And there's 2 different things we're going to look for. One of them has to do with a fish. We're going to see that 2 times. And the other one has to do sort of with a Band-Aid, okay? It has related to a Band-Aid. And these are ways that we know indeed that Jesus was alive and the ways that the people he appeared to knew. Well, the group of people that he appeared to were his disciples. He appeared to his disciples, the people who had followed him, his closest followers, and they were hiding because they were scared the Romans were going to come get them. And he comes in, he just appears and he says, "Peace to you." And they're thinking he might be a ghost and they're not sure. So he shows him his hands, and he would have had wounds on his hands, just like you would have if you fall down and hurt yourself. And those wounds from where they put Jesus on the cross. And he had a pierced side wound, and his feet would have had wounds, and he was able to let them see and touch them. And you know what? Jesus actually got hungry and he asked for some food. And the Bible says that they gave him some fish to eat. And he ate some broiled fish with them. So those 2 ways we know, because if you're alive, you wouldn't be alive if you're eating, right? Or you wouldn't be able to see your body. They wouldn't be able to touch and see your hands and look and see your wounds. And Jesus was so kind because one of the disciples wasn't there that time. And he came back 8 days later to help Mr. Thomas. And Thomas had a hard time because he thought the rest of them had seen a ghost. But once he was able to see Jesus and touch his hands and his feet, then he knew for sure that he was really alive. And then the 3rd time, Jesus sees the disciples out and they are fishing. And when they're fishing, they realize that they're not catching any fish. And a man calls to them and says, "Cast your net on the other side." So they cast on the other side, and their empty net gets pulled up and it's full of fish this time. And they have plenty of fish, and they say, that must be Jesus. So they get out of the boat and they go sit by the campfire. And again, they broil some of the fish, they cook some of the fish on the fire, and Jesus eats it. And so they know indeed he is really alive. This is really him, because people who are alive are hungry, and people who are alive have wounds and they have scars from where things happened to them. And so we can know that too because they recorded it for us, and Jesus really was alive and is alive. I'll see you guys next week, and we'll talk more about the resurrection.